So hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. On today's video we're going to be talking cameras, what I've been using in the past, what I currently use today, and what I'm going to use moving forward as from this weekend. Now with that, obviously there's a new camera out and a few new cameras. DJI launched the Osmo Action 3 yesterday, and also Gopro launched their new Hero 11 and also a very small modular format of that Hero 11. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned, we'll be right back. So welcome back, and what we're going to do is we're going to look through the cameras that I've used in the past, the cameras that I use today and why I use them, and also we're going to be unveiling a new camera that will be our main vlogging camera moving forward. Now, as you can see on my desk, I've got the Osmo Action, the first version that they brought out. Now, I actually moved over from GoPro to the Osmo Action when this first came out, and the reasons for that was that the GoPro, not sure which version it was, could have been the 7 that I first started out with many years ago, but I used to get lots of corrupt files on the SD cards, and that problem, that issue, seems to have followed on with the 8, 9, 10. I don't know whether it will follow on with the new 11, but I moved away from GoPro years ago, so the new camera that's arrived today is definitely not a GoPro. So yeah, the Osmo Action. Now, this camera was launched about 3 years ago. It's a modular camera like the GoPro. It has a front-facing screen, which is not a touch screen, has a very large back screen, and also a one-touch record and an on and off button on the top. It also had the quick switch button, which you could just press once, twice or 3 times to flick through your different settings of your cameras. If you were using, say, 2.7K and you wanted 4K, that's a way of doing it really quick without going into all the menus. It had at the time, and still does, a charge port and a SD card slot in the side just there, and also on the bottom you can see I've taken the battery out just here. These were the batteries, and these just basically slot in and plug in. This camera was totally waterproof. It also had the feature that you could actually unscrew the front lens. This one I've got on here is an ND4 filter, and then you can actually put different ND filters on just by screwing these in place. And the camera, as it is with the door shut, was fully waterproof. Now, I did have a mic adapter that I used to use, which is this one from Sinova, and this used to plug into the side, and then it would make a 3.5mm mic, which is just one of these, and then that would go inside my helmet. So that was my setup that I used for about 3 years, I think it was. The camera came with a case and obviously the GoPro mounts and adapters and things, so it was quite easy to attach to a helmet. The camera was brilliant. The only thing that I struggled with was that the field of view wasn't quite large enough that I wanted on the front, but the camera itself, I never had any problems in 3 years. In fact, I actually have 2 cameras, and the one I'm filming from today, this is actually from my other Osmo Action, which was the first generation. So still great cameras. Like I say, I have 2. I generally use these for filming stuff with the family these days. Now, about a year ago, I switched over to the Osmo Action 2, or it was called the Action 2. They dropped the Osmo section out of it. Now, as you can see here, the Action 2 came in a different format. It came in a camera, which you can detach, and then it had either a screen, which is here on the bottom, and a battery, or you could just get the battery version, which is there. I bought the camera to use mainly because the field of view was wider, and also the quality of the sensor was larger in the camera. But this has been mounted on my helmet now for nearly a year, and it's been great. The field of view has been great, the picture quality has been great. I've not had to color grade or anything like that, and I've always filmed in 4K 60. And I also have the Rocksteady stabilization set on this camera while riding along. Now, the only problem that I had with this when I got it was that I needed to mount it vertically. If I mounted it horizontally, like so, the picture would turn into a, I think it's a 9:16 format, which is great for Instagram and things, but not great for making YouTube videos. So I had to keep the camera mounted like this on the helmet, which wasn't a problem, and I've learned to live with it. I also love the feature on this that they have magnetic mounts. On the helmet itself, you've got a magnetic mount, and to be honest, the GoPro connection just here is all set and these are tightened up, so when I put that on my helmet, whenever I put the camera onto the magnetic mount, which goes on the other way like that, the actual angle was always the same when I put it on my helmet or just took it off by pressing the two lugs at the bottom. So magnetic mount, absolutely brilliant feature. Also, I bought a cage for this just to protect it and go around it, and also that had a magnetic mount on the bottom just there as well. So everything worked really good and it was easy to take off and put back on. So yeah, that's the Action 2. That's the camera that I've been using currently. Now, as you can see on the desk, I also use a Insta360 1x2, and that's for getting the footage looking back at me on the bike. I'll just show you a section of that just now. And this is really good because it's got a really super wide field of view, but in post I can also edit which view you see on the screen. So that's part of the stable and that's not going anywhere. Absolutely love the Insta360 camera. Now, the other thing that I loved about the Action 2, and the second camera I use really as a selfie camera for the videos, and I bought also the selfie stick. This has the magnetic mount on the top as well, like so, and then also it can extend, and it has a tripod on the bottom. And the best thing that I like about this is that you can angle it and do all kinds of stuff with it, but it does have a remote which is removable from here as well. So if you were taking a shot from far away and you wanted to turn it off and on, you could use the remote, which is magnetic, and that just fits in there like so. So that's my B-roll camera, and that's the one that I capture footage with when I'm off the bike. Spare batteries for this camera, they're not that cheap, they're about £50 for a battery. One beauty about it is you can actually remove just the camera section and you can use just this. It's got a built-in memory, built-in battery. Obviously there's no SD card slot in it, so you need to use the internal storage in this. I prefer to use it with the setup I have here, so that you have the screen also on the back and also on the front. Now, while it might not be a true action camera, which I think it doesn't fall into that category, the Osmo Action 1 was a true action camera, and I always wished when they came out with the Action 2 from this that they'd have kept the same format as this. Now, yesterday I mentioned that DJI had bought a new camera out. It is the Osmo Action 3, so it's basically replacing the Action 2 and the original Action, and we have it here. Here she is, just arrived about 10 minutes ago, the Osmo Action 3. Now, I'm hoping that this is going to be the camera that goes on my helmet from today, and it has lots of benefits over the original Osmo Action that I was looking for. They've addressed everything and also a lot more. So let's unbox it and go into what's inside. So you've got the camera, some DJI stickers, always love stickers, some silica gel. You've also got the battery, you've got a cage and also a mount. This is one of those mounts that's basically you peel this off and literally you can stick this to anything. It's not magnetic, it's not a suction cup. I don't know what material they put on the back of this, but that's a brilliant mount. And also, if you've noticed just there, you've got the new magnetic mount, which is the same or similar to what was on the Action 2 camera. So no longer have you got the fiddly thumb screws, which are on the GoPro. Like I said, on the Action 2, with having a magnetic mount, I never had to adjust the camera every time I put it on the helmet. It was always in the same position, which was a great feature, so I'm happy that they've brought that to the new camera. You've also got a charging lead, which is a USB-C to USB-C. Just here you've got cage. Now, because there's a magnetic mount, you don't actually have to use the cage, and I'll explain why they've added a cage shortly, and also what this little rubber ring is for. Okay, there she is, the new camera. Now, if you put it alongside the original Osmo Action, it is slightly bigger, not a lot, maybe a few millimeters here and there, Both of them have the twist off screens, so there will be ND filters coming out within literally a week or two. The screen on the Action 3 is slightly bigger, and now it's an improved touch screen as well. On the back you've got a slightly larger screen area and also again touch screen. Now on the original camera the battery went in from the bottom. On the new camera the battery comes in from the side, so you've got this just here, and then the battery slots into there, also the SD card. On the other side you've got your power and also where your mic goes into, and I'll explain a little bit how to convert that to a 3.5mm jack mic, or you can use one of the new DJI remote mics as well. Now on the bottom, this is where it's a game changer. You can literally just use the mount that comes with it. Also the thumb screws are a lot better than GoPro, a lot easier to get hold of, and literally it just clips into place like so. There's two clips you need to press to release it. It's got a magnet in the middle, and there she is.
I don't know that one.
And then you can mount that onto your helmet, so you don't actually need the cage that they provide. The only reason that they provided a cage is if you want more protection, you can put that on. Or another feature is if you do put it in the cage like that, I must say this stuff's really well made. So if you wanted to shoot vertically on this camera you can do, and also once the cage is fitted, and on the end just there you've got the magnetic mount which you can literally fix on and then film vertically that way. So that would be kind of similar to what this was. Or on the cage there's a section open at the bottom, you can just put it there as well to film like that. That's quite a nice setup. You've got the single press on the top for record, and also you've got access to your screens. Okay, let's take the lens protector off. Now as you can see on the front here we've got the rubber ring ground. They also give you a spare one, which is great. What this is useful for is to twist the lens protector off to then put one of the ND filters that will be launching soon. Now the microphone setup, I'm not going to use a 3.5mm lavalier mic to go inside my helmet. Since the Osmo Action 1, the first version, where I did use the 3.5mm mic adapter, that adapter was this one here from Sinova, and from the Sinova one basically you could plug a 3.5mm lavalier mic and then plug that into the side of the camera just there. That worked pretty well, but the sound quality was hit and miss. It has been improved on the new camera, by the way, so this should be a pretty good setup, so I believe, but the adapter that worked with the first version obviously doesn't work. What you will need to get is you will need to get a USB-C to 3.5mm mic adapter. Not all of them work. This is a Boya one. The part code's BYK4, and this works pretty well, and this would just literally go in the side of the camera, and then you can plug your 3.5mm lavalier mic into that as well to get your sound into the inside of your helmet. But I'm not going to use that method. My preferred method these days is to use this device, which is called the InstaMic. I'll pop a link in the description below. I do have two of these, but basically this either comes on a magnetic mount or you can get sticky mounts. I have this mounted inside my helmet, just in front of my mouth. And the beauty about the InstaMics, they're small, they have so much functionality. You can turn the decibel down, you can use the graphic equalizer to get rid of wind. I did put a homemade little sock on the top there where the mics are to cut down the wind, but that's my preferred method. It doesn't plug into the camera, it's a totally separate. It has a 16GB card inside that holds all of the audio files, and obviously I just plug it into my iPad to take the audio files off. Obviously I have to sync this with the camera, so I just use a 3 pips of the horn before I set off riding, and then I can sync it up in post after. So what I wanted to achieve in my videos was to get the best quality video footage, but also the best quality audio. The other mics that I use, I mentioned the handheld system of the Action 2. I also plug in what they call a Synco mic, into the side of this, and then I have this that literally clips onto my t-shirt. This is a wireless mic system. This also works for my b-roll and when I'm out not on the bike filming that you see on my videos. So that's a great device, and that's from Synco. You can also get the DJI version of this, which is a lot better, and also a great device. Now, the benefits of this camera over the old one, obviously there's a bigger sensor. The field of view is up to 155 degrees, which is more than the GoPro is capable of currently without their max lens mod. The mounting system, like I mentioned, is absolutely superb. The magnets hold really well, but you've also got these clips on the side just here that open up, and yeah, literally goes in like so. So when I've finished my day's riding, I come home, I just pinch these, take the camera off the helmet, and then I literally can just plug in to here to take the files off the camera, or I can drop the SD card out and use an SD card reader. Now, the batteries that go into the side of this camera, they're quite small, but they give you at 1080p 30 frames per second 160 minutes of recording, and if you're recording at 4K 60, which is my preferred on this camera, or any camera that I record on, 4K 60 for motovlogging seems to be the best quality, and you're getting probably about 90 minutes, so about an hour and a half recording time on a single battery, which is also very good. Now, the price when it came onto the website of DJI yesterday for the Action 3, I was blown away. £300 for a good action camera. Can't go wrong at that, really, can you? When the launch happened at 1 PM yesterday, I think it was 2 PM that GoPro launched their Hero 11. The GoPro Hero 11 price is £549. That's if you buy the camera outright without a subscription. It's so expensive. If you get the year's subscription, which you get availability to upload your video footage to the cloud, not sure who does that or why you would want to, but then the camera price comes down to $399, so it's still £100 more expensive than the actual Action 3. For me, looking between the Hero 10 spec and the Hero 11 spec, they just haven't bought enough upgrades to the Hero 11. I'm not sure why. It does have 10-bit color, but the Action 3 will have 10-bit color on the next firmware update. Realistically, do you need it? No, not if you're uploading to YouTube or anything like that. Okay, so let's put the battery in. Open the compartment. Battery slides in. Close the compartment. You turn it on at the side. Nice screen. At the back you've got a four-way swipe screen. Swipe up for your resolution. Swipe down for the settings. Swipe right for all of your exposure and your mic settings and your field of view, and then you can go on to the left to swipe and go into your files to see the recorded videos, or if you swipe all the way from the left to right, you go into your quick settings, and then you've got slow-mo, you've got time-lapse, video and photo menus. Like I say, one touch record at the top, very simple. But yeah, great camera, and I can't wait to get out and film with this at the weekend. Okay, so with the new quick release mount, what we can do now is we can attach it to the helmet. I've got my HJC carbon Bleer helmet just here, and as you can see I've got the Ride Tech GoPro mount on the front of it, and all I'm going to do is just put the mount inside, click it in place. And as you can see there, I've got the magnet adapter all in place. I don't need to adjust it, it's adjusted to the correct angle. So I just need to clip the camera onto the actual magnetic base just there, which is just like so. And that's it. So camera on. When you want to take the camera off, literally you just pull the two clasps in at the side and then unclip it, or clip it back on. So that's it, one camera ready to rock for the weekend. We're going to get out and do a cafe and cake run and test this camera out, so stay tuned for some awesome footage from the new camera. So if you're new to the channel, then hit that subscribe button, ding that bell for future videos coming up. And if you'd like to support the channel, we have a coffee link in the description below. You can always buy us a coffee while we head out for our coffee and cake run at the weekend. So I hope that's been informative on the new DJI Action 3 camera. And also in the next video we'll be going through all of our camping gear. So if you haven't caught any of our solo camping, moto camping trips, then head in the right hand corner just here and you'll see a link to the latest trip that we did last weekend. Okay, take care, have a great night or day, whatever you're doing, and we'll catch you soon. Cheers.